What? Something Lily would like.
Oh, that's the Advent Halloween.
Advent calendar, the
Banner?
bunting, plush characters, medium plush characters,
Well, that's not all in that bag.
assorted smaller elements to use as you wish.
All that in that bag?
That's what it says.
Wow.
Okay, here they come.
Okay.
We'll try this.
We'll try
We're
it, yes.
not on Wi-Fi because we seem to struggle in the afternoon.
Okay.
Around here, so.
Oh, so we're using your data, huh?
It's unlimited.
Okay, good. Good.
How cute is that?
That's very cute. Okay, you guys want to see?
Yes.
Lily, you come in and show this.
You're
You
gonna
come
take
in and show
plastic,
this. Woohoo!
I think.
Okay, Lily, you gotta get on the screen.
First of all, hey,
This is Lily!
Hello.
but you gotta get
Camera
all
shy.
right.
Okay, can I take it out of the package?
Yeah.
It's loud. I'm buying it. So is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
So this just walked in. This
It
came
literally
in,
just walked
UPS guy came while we were on earlier. And we had,
Wow. That is some intense glue up in there.
You just expect somebody to get
okay,
So,
Halloween project panel from Moda.
gosh. And it's like a ton of different projects is what it looks like. How stinking cute is that? Look at this huge Halloween advent calendar. What? What is
Yeah.
happening here?
I wonder where you would find candy to put in that.
It's like it goes on a door. Is that the purpose of this? Because
Oh, how cute. It's like really long.
it's super long. And then bunting. Do you see the bunting? Happy Halloween. Oh, and those are the plushes.
The kitties.
Kitties and pumpkins and
So you could stuff
spiders.
these and make little black cats, stuffed black cats. How
I'm
cute
doing
is
it.
that?
It's
Anyway.
not a can, it's wind.
Yeah, I knew Lily would do that.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
big into Halloween.
That's so fun.
Cool.
Where's Wendy Nugent? She's my Halloween buddy.
Wendy, are you sewing a bucket hat with us today? Okay, bucket hat. I hope you had a chance to download the pattern. When I sent you to elbatextiles.com.au, or you could just search Sorrento bucket hat. Let's see if I can get that. I'm not really adept at that. And I think it's about $2 US to get that. So I printed two sets of it once I had downloaded it onto my computer. And Lily, can you work the camera so that you can follow what I'm doing? I think that would be helpful. So if you aim it down, so you.
Lift up the whole thing.
I'm like,
But I
this is
guess
a
you can't see it,
contraption.
can you? You can't see it. So where are we going? We need our technical. So you got to come in. We'll figure this out. We hope you aren't making you motion sickness while you're doing this. So we need. There. Okay,
I might have
Lily.
to post a picture of this.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, that's good, Lil. Okay, so all I did here was, I've got the two layers together. And I'm doing this, and I'm going to cut it on the large. And this has seam allowance included. It also has a test square for printing, so to make sure you're printing it the right size, that square should measure 1 inch. So I do that, and then I'm gonna So actually,
So you leave extra. You leave like a ½ inch extra.
I did. I left like a ½ inch extra. I might find a little ruler. bring too many of my own tools because I thought that here in this sewing room, in the store where we make all our models and stuff, that there would be plenty of stuff to see. Okay, so we're going to do this. So here's what I do to get that to fold. It's like a paper trick where you just score it. So I just ran my seam ripper along that, do that. Now, if I do this, I have an S-curve. That is not what we want. We want it to be a curve, the brim of the hat. So I'm going to do that, flip it over, and tape it. So do you notice how I have been working for about 30 seconds, and I already have this so cluttered that I have no place to work. So I hope that your work surface is better than mine in that sense. So that's how I make it. Otherwise, you could just cut on the fold, but I like to have the whole thing laid out because I'm cutting 2 brims anyway. So if I have that as the entire shape, I found it a lot easier to work with. So this you want to make sure, cut on the fold. That's where I'm going to leave the extra. I'm going to cut it on the large. I think, Lily, you're going to make this for somebody else who said her head size was, what did Carla say?
I have to look it up.
I think she said 23 1/4. So I think we're just going to make her, I think we're going to make her the medium, which is the same size I made myself. I thought it was plenty comfortable, not tight at all. And then some right here. Did I do there? So this guy, you can fold it back like this, or you can score it. This paper folds pretty easily. And again, it's right side to wrong side. All right, and then I'm gonna let Lily cut out this while I go and check on our fabric. So, you wanna cut that out, do the same thing, leave a little excess so that you can tape them together to have a full circle.
Okay.
All right, okay, so now, hey, there I am. Okay, so I decided at the last minute that I wanted to pre-shrink my fabric. So, luckily here in Newton, Kansas, it is a hot and windy day. So I got my 1/2 yard fabric cut. You really only need 3/8 of a yard, but I thought, oh, if I had any extra, I would make masks to match my hats. So I have this now hanging outside the back door. It's been hanging here for almost 15 minutes and it's practically dry. So I'm just gonna take it down, take it in. It's kind of damp. Are you guys seasick yet? Motion sickness? Whoa. Should have called my camera person Kirsten. Oh well. They're never gonna let me do this again, you guys. You better give me good grades. In the comments say, Charlotte, she's fabulous. And maybe Kirsten won't watch it. Okay, so there is Lily. She's cutting away. There are the 2 sewing machines. And I'm going to take us over to the ironing table and iron. So that's all you're missing. So maybe you should be prepping your own fabric. You have fabric to prep. And we're in the classroom, which if you're in the store, if you've been in the store, you know that Gwen is here working away, getting fabric, new fabric in to the system. Rita is off today, so we thought this was a good time to do this because normally the machine, quilting machine, is running rather noisily behind these. Okay, so we'll come over here, see what I'm doing here. Working on the there I am.
It's like that movie from last night. There you are. I can see you.
We stayed up really late actually. Really late for me is midnight. We stayed up till midnight last night watching Eurovision on Netflix. Eurovision? Eurovision. It's a comedy with Will Ferrell and Amy McAdams. And the premise is that they have been friends since childhood in this small town of Iceland, and they want to do a singing contest that I guess is a real thing.
It is a real thing.
It's a real thing. And so they practice and they go and all kinds of disaster happens. Anyway, it's very funny. So Eurovision on Netflix is what we watched last night.
Gwen, have you seen it?
I have not.
Oh, so good.
Okay, so I am ironing this fabric dry, trying to finish drying it. It's gonna be,
Details.
details. It's okay. And the only reason I pre-shrunk it is because, I don't know, because I assume the hat's gonna get washed. So I kind of wanted to control it. I like the way they fit. If you haven't pre-shrunk it, you could make your hat the next size larger, knowing that it might shrink a little bit. Anyway. Okay, Lily, here's your floral. Ready to roll.
Thank you. I might get a second cutting mat.
Yeah, we need a bigger cutting mat. somewhere. Oh, I'm standing on them.
Oh, good.
I am standing on them over here.
Look at you.
And it's kind of heavy.
Miss Thornhill.
Okay, you want it up here?
What would you like?
I think I'll just put it across the edge here.
Hi.
Hi.
Did Ian leave?
It is heavy.
Hard to move it.
Yes. Get a look at. There, perfect.
So anyway, I'm ironing. We said we were going to learn a lot doing this sew-along. I have no idea. I've never even watched a sew-along. I know they happen all the time online, but this is like my version of a sew-along. So if you've watched other people's and it was very successful, I don't even know if I want to hear about it. Okay.
I do like your new iron.
Yeah, got this new iron. It's a handy dandy cordless iron. And look at that, it's got points at both ends. Can you see that? Look at that. Okay, cool. It's cordless. And we sell them. Panasonic 360-degree freestyle. And it's $160? I think it's $160. We'd make it $159.99 today only.
$6. No,
Yeah.
just kidding.
Okay. Well, Lily, I think you could start cutting that one. What I would do is I would leave it folded
Okay.
and, yeah, put it all up on the table. And then put your brim, position your brim on it. We're gonna do this, we're gonna watch you. Perfect, there's a way to switch this camera around. So I am going to switch it, there it is. There we are. Okay, this is what I should have done before. Sorry, guys. Okay, so lay this on there. And then, where's your other one? This is your other one?
Here's the band.
Okay. So you want 2 of each of these, and you want just one of the
top.
one of the top. So the top, we can position it kind of like over here, as if it's going to be, because that would be on the fold.
Okay.
Because the second top is going to be out of the lining fabric.
Right.
So you can see how here we could have gotten by with a lot less fabric if you measured this. I think it's going to be just about 12 inches. Corey, yeah, I just got the iron, and then Lily's birthday was earlier this week, and I got her the iron too. Are you loving it, Lily?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So like 14 and 15 gives you a little
Yeah.
wiggle room.
14 or 15. And I think I told them 13 and a half. 13 and a half would work. Yeah. So you could actually do it easily in 13 and a half inches.
And the beauty is these don't have to be on the fold, just the top.
Right. No.
Because you tape them together.
And actually, we won't cut that on the fold. We'll open it up and we'll cut it in 2 layers with the lining.
Okay.
Okay? So now I'm going to switch it around.
I like to outline mine. If that's okay.
You want to what?
I like to outline mine before I
Oh,
cut it.
okay. All right. Go for it. You want a friction pen?
Ooh, we have one.
You have to look around. When is there a friction pen?
Right here.
You rock. Look at you. Thank you.
Are you on the screen there, Lily? Do I have it pointing at you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, Peggy.
You're getting the hang of it.
I've never been on this end of this. I don't know what I'm doing.
I have a feeling Lily's voice is softer than mine, so maybe her voice needs the mic. Maybe we need to put the mic on you today.
No,
Lily.
that's okay. I will. I did my
enough.
public speaking time. I'm good.
Hey, we learned something else kind of neat, and any of you are from, I haven't had a chance to look at the screen enough to see who's on and who isn't. If any of you are in the Topeka area,
Topeka.
Kansas, we just learned last night that one of Lily's professors from Washburn,
Yeah.
in her retirement, she's become a quilt artist.
And a really good one.
And her name is
Kathy Menzie. Dr. Kathy Menzie.
Kathy Menzie. And she has a show right now, a quilt show. She does landscape
She does landscape.
quilts. So she's probably not watching our bucket hat presentation. Really. I don't know.
At this point, I hope she's not at least watching this part because I'm not doing very well. We had affogatos this morning, which
That started our day.
that started our day, and it was a good way to
Jump-started.
start. But now I think I'm a little shaky from all that espresso.
I don't know what an affogato is. It is supposed to be a shot of espresso over a scoop of ice cream. And it's really good.
Oh, it's delicious.
quite yummy. But I don't have an espresso maker or espresso machine, so we did the poor girls version, which is you just pour as much finely ground coffee as you can into the little basket of your coffee maker. And then you put in less water than you would normally put in for 1 cup. And then it was 2 small cups of very dark coffee poured over double rich vanilla ice cream.
Oh, so
And it
good.
really was a shot. And then for lunch, we had sugar cookies.
There you go. Keep the ball rolling.
And Sylvia has made me blueberry coffee cake,
Oh.
which when I start slowing down here,
Will we
in an
ever
hour
slow
or
down?
so, we will be for the coffee cake, so.
And then there's coffee cake at home.
Oh, that's right. Randy brought home coffee cake.
It's okay.
And then my friend Harold is making an Italian cream cake for me tonight. So,
Cake?
cake. And I don't even normally eat cake. I normally avoid all sugar in my diet. This is like really bizarre. So, today I am really
Energetic.
charged up. Okay, so I don't. We'll give Lily a break and we'll see if we can catch me now. I am not going to blood on there. Let me make a mess for you. I think those are my parts you just took.
Yes,
That's my
they are.
hat.
What you want? What you
Okay.
want?
So this is very interesting. This was like the first cut off of. This is the first cut off of
That bolt.
the bolt, and it is like so uneven that when I went to pre-shrink it, when I got it wet, it really is crooked. So I'm gonna have to go check that out. Meanwhile, my other fabric is a woven, and so I cut along the woven line, so I know that's straight. So I'm gonna line up my fabric, and I am putting all 4 layers together. I am doing, so if I mess it up, I mess up the whole stack, but I'm not gonna mess it up. So I have my brim on here, and I'm cutting 4 layers at a time.
You are a wild child.
I am a wild child. And I am going to pin,
I
So-
take it back. You're pinning.
yeah, I gotta take a shot of this. Lily drew this on, and now she's doing a quilter's trick, which is
Seriously?
Well-
I didn't even know.
well, I mean, because you aren't used to drawing to
Right.
cutting freehand, so
Well, this
she
one I can do.
is using the ruler as a guide, and even when she's doing the curve, she's just running it along. And actually, if I had known you did that, I have a curved shape template at home that I would have brought and let you use.
Well, see, I just need to get on the board, on the train with all the
Tools.
tools.
Gotta listen to my build your toolbox.
That's right. Just need like a running list of tools I need. Tools you recommend. So you're doing all layers at once.
Yeah, you've come to the right place.
Ding,
At the
ding.
right place. Okay. So she also took my rotary cutter.
What you talking about?
So by now you could be cutting out your pieces with us.
I'm gonna be way slower than you.
It's all right. This is
Shocker,
not a
no.
race. This is not a race. And I don't know that I've mentioned that. I mentioned this in the little promo I gave of this at 1 o'clock, that person's going to figure out, assuming I don't botch this completely, that she's going to figure out how to put this on YouTube. And so even if you are like really not in a position to be making a hat along with us, we are going to post this video on YouTube. So you can like speed it up. You can flip through it and take the 4 high points, the beginning, the middle, the next middle, and the end. So meanwhile, I just cut out 4 layers. These are 4 brims.
Look how cute that turned out.
Yeah, just the in and out.
I'll lock it.
I know, I'm just addicted to making these. Each one is so cute.
I know. How many do you have?
I
You should
think
have
I-
done like a count before
Yeah,
you came.
well, I could go collect them. Most of them are down here at the store. I brought in the one from the car. This is the one that I'm going to do this one that I'm making just like this one that I keep in the car. And this one has only interfacing in the brim. And I think I did do 2 layers of interfacing. Maybe I could pull it apart and feel it. Nope, I did just one layer of interfacing in the brim.
Voila.
So that's what I'm gonna do today. And there's no interfacing in this because this is like a hat to wear when it's hot. It's basically, I'm wearing it to try to protect myself from the sun. And so I can either flip it up in the back, in the front, get it down here. Anyway, so that's what I'm trying to do.
I think the one you're making now will match your shirt a little bit better, or at least your pants. Yeah, look at all that extra fabric I had. See?
Yep.
Just from half a yard.
Have you cut the circle?
No, you told me to cut it
Oh,
with
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
inner.
Okay. Then you're gonna layer it with the other one.
Yes.
So here's your other piece.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. I have to make something else with the rest of this fabric because it's so cute. Carla, I'll make something to match you.
I think there's enough for a mask there.
Oh, see?
Matching
Dun,
masks.
dun, dun, dun.
Eleanor was suggesting we try to figure out a neat way to do a drop-down mask from the hat.
That's awesome.
So Eleanor is supposed to be here with us, but Eleanor lives in Miami Beach, Florida. Are you on, Eleanor? Eleanor? We aren't seeing you. Eleanor works for the Miami City Ballet in Miami Beach, and she had taken off the week to come spend my birthday festival with me, but Florida is still having really a lot of trouble with the COVID-19, and Kansas says that anybody traveling from 2 states in the whole country, Arizona and or Florida, and you have to quarantine for 14 days after you get here. So she didn't have 14 days, and so she didn't come. Meanwhile,
But I think I see, look, Sarah's on. Hi, Sarah. Hello, honey.
hi. So we are.
We're bummed, but we'll figure something out.
Yep. Anyway, so meanwhile, maybe she can figure out, she and her assistant Pico has great ideas too.
Oh, yeah.
You come up with a way to attach a mask to a bucket hat. We got a lot of bucket hat wearers in this family. Eleanor's son is the one.
Declan needs one, too. Alex, Declan.
Alex is the one who validated my, yes, this is a great
Right.
gift for youth. He goes, I love bucket hats. And then Declan said, I love bucket hats too. Okay, so now I am going to have my pieces cut out. I have 4 pieces of my crown, my band, and 4 pieces of my brim. And now I'm going to open up. I only need 2 pieces of the round circle top. So I'm going to cut them together. I'm not going to use them together, so it doesn't matter whether you're putting them right sides together or wrong sides together. Not like, you know, our efficiency as quilters, we're like always like, how's this going to be sewn? Will I have to touch this again? Can I just do this? This one's kind of...
Are you talking about the woven? Doesn't matter which way?
Well, that's a good point too. I wasn't talking about that, but yeah, that doesn't have a right side or wrong side in this case. But no, it doesn't matter. Like, you know how like if you're going to sew a bunch of half square triangles and you want to put the right sides together when you're cutting them, so
I
that
see
you
what you're saying.
just
now.
pick them up and start sewing. Well, we aren't sewing these 2 rounds together, so it doesn't matter. I just like cutting them at the same time because then you know they're the exact same shape, the exact same size. If you accidentally flatten one side of the circle, they're both flattened.
At least hopefully. Come on, friction pen, you can do it. What's happening? It does really well on paper, and then the fabric is like, nah, I
Okay,
think I'm
so-
tired.
So this is what I'm saying. They're just, I put them together, so I'm cutting out 2 layers at one time. That's all I'm trying to say.
I'll catch up.
And I cut this out on the large, along many hats ago. And I just folded it back, but as many hats as I've made from this, I could afford to print another piece, 2 pieces of paper and print a new one, then I wouldn't have to be dealing with the folded back seam allowance, which is just in case I would ever want to make a large one, because I am really making mediums. So I think I'm going to just,
Close enough. I'm still thinking about how you could incorporate a mask into this.
buttons. While we were choosing our fabrics, selecting our fabrics just a few minutes ago out front in the store, the guy who has the antique mall across the street came dashing in looking for giant buttons. I mean, those were practically 2.5 inch in diameter, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were big buttons. And he was excited in a hurry. I think he probably left his store unmanned. And so he's really quickly asking us, do you have buttons this size? And I looked and I said, no, sorry, I don't. And he said, oh, okay. He goes, you put these in your ears. And I'm like, what? Put these buttons in your ears. He had the 2 buttons like are on the outsides of a strip of fabric that was maybe 5.5, 6 inches long by 2 inches. And he had sewn them to each end. And you put it on the back of your head and you caught the elastic that goes around your, the ear loops of your mask. So instead of it pulling on your ears,
Yeah.
it goes back and it hooks on these buttons and keeps it tight on the back of your head. So I was like, you put it in your ears. And he goes, no. And he
No.
made himself clear. So anyway, so that's another thing. But I've got my, what's a good name for this? But I've taken my mask that I have like a drawstring thing, so I can pull it up tight. I have a toggle on it. We sell these toggles. So the toggle is like a plastic, you pinch it. It's just like, would come on like a, I don't know, sleeping bag sack or something, a tote, backpack. Anyway, and so you use this to tighten this cord on the back of your head. And it also keeps your mask just handy draping around your neck. But here in the store, since it's become absolutely mandatory to wear it around customers, it is easier just to have the loops on the ear, not for that long. Plus, then I can just pull it down. It's handy. I could hand it on one ear, but that gets annoying. So I just wear it around my neck and have the ear things going through the casings on the side. So anyway, hybrid mask. So with that said, I keep thinking there's got to be something kind of like that can go on this hat. Bucket hat with attached mask. Okay, I am now ready to attach. Are you guys all ready? Okay, we're going to attach the interfacing to the brim. So this is the interfacing that is a very good weight of interfacing. It's crisp, but it's very lightweight. The last couple of times we've ordered it, it's come on a 45-inch long board without a fold. And I think that's maybe in case you were going to do maybe shades, window shades or something that you didn't want to fold in the product itself. So I didn't ask for it like that, it just came like that. It's $6 a yard and it's Pellon 809 fusible. It's called Decor Bond. Let's see if I can figure out how to show you that. Decor Bond. Can I?
That's very
Decor Bond. So anyway, that's what I'm using. And the reason I don't like it is honestly, sometimes it doesn't fuse. It's very frustrating. I don't know. So you need to cut some of that, Miss Lil.
That's what I was gonna ask. I was like,
You need that, as much of that as you want to interface.
so what do you recommend interfacing?
Personally, the brim,
Okay.
because if you want it kind of sloppy. If you want to go get, I think there are a couple other hats around the store. There's one
Mhm.
made out of this fabric. I think it's in the front room.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're standing at the cash register, it'd be at your back up on the shelf there.
Okay.
And then there are the ones that are made out of that little bit heavy, almost canvas-like cotton.
Okay.
If you bring those back,
Okay.
I'll look. I know I put different amounts of interfacing in each one. Hi, Sylvia. What are you whispering about?
Oh, cutting that kit.
Which kit? Oh, okay. So I am fusing this interfacing now, and it appears like it's sort of fusing. I'm afraid to test it, because I'm going to get frustrated if it's not. If it looks like it is and then it's not, then I'll be frustrated. It looks pretty good. And I think it's because I still have quite a bit of moisture in the fabric that I just pre-shrunk. So I think it is going pretty well. Okay, so this one, so I should take
This one
yeah.
has it
Okay.
on the band.
Yeah, so this is, I'm coming back over by you guys. Okay, so this one, this is the original hat I made, and I put it in the crown, or the band. Call us the crown, because like a crown sits on your head if you're a king or a queen. It's very cute. It's a little bit big on you.
It is.
But you're not making this for you.
No.
Okay, so keep that in mind.
I have very thin hair. I think Carla has
Yeah.
thicker hair than I do.
So this one has interfacing on both sides of the brim. So this has 2 layers of interfacing and 1 layer in the crown. And that's pretty nice, actually, if you're really trying to wear it for sun. And Carla does a lot of gardening.
She
And they
does.
have, Carla's my sister-in-law, and she and my brother have a Christmas tree farm in New York, I'm going to think of the name of the town pretty soon. Carla, are you watching? What's the name of the town? Interlaken.
Yes.
Interlaken, New York, on the Finger Lakes. So anyway, she does a lot of gardening. So I'm thinking maybe she wants the brim to stand out more.
I would agree.
Okay, so you just
So-
have to decide, which is kind of why I've made 4, because I just keep trying different things and trying it out. So you could cut off a strip of that and then fold it back and double it and cut out 2 layers.
So here's my question for you.
Mhm.
So I technically have 4 layers of the band. Am I just doing 2 layers with interfacing?
Well, that's what I was saying. Like the
Sorry,
one
I
you
missed
just
that.
yeah, the one you just brought into me. I put interfacing on the back of both layers.
Okay.
So there's actually 4 layers. There's fabric, interfacing, fabric.
Got it.
When you're wearing it. And then in the crown or the brim, I
Mhm.
mean the band,
Mm-hmm.
there's no interfacing in the lining in this hat.
It's only in the outside.
I only did on the outside.
Got it. Okay, I'm following. Sorry, I missed
And
that.
so if you're doing like a winter hat, a warm hat, then I probably would put the interfacing in there. And these would be really cool out of like recycled wool. That would be really fun. Fun
Yeah.
thing to do with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting some ideas. Okay, still not an idea on the mask. But
Dang it. Now I'm confused on what I should do.
okay, so I would just, use the cutting table here, cut off all the way straight across the whole width of the interfacing, and then So this looks like an empty room. Where did I? You should be watching Lily.
I can't do both, woman. Which one for me?
So let's see. I'll turn this around so you can at least watch me ironing. Is that what they do in sew-alongs? So I know Bonnie Hunter does sew-alongs. I know Gudrun.
Bonnie Hunter from Bonnie and Camille.
No, Bonnie Hunter from Scrap.
Oh no, she does all the awesome scrap work.
Yeah, scraps and mysteries. And
That's right.
she has the retreat center now in West Virginia or somewhere. But I've never taken the time to watch any because I'm usually working.
Do you do podcasts at all?
Do I do podcasts?
Yes, you do podcasts.
I don't.
Do you podcast?
I should do podcasts.
Maybe. Okay, I'm gonna move this so I'm not like up in there on it. Okay.
So I wish you were watching what I was doing instead of me. If I knew how to work the tripod.
Tripod?
Tripod. Tripod.
Tripod.
Okay, so we could angle this down.
Now you're just getting technical. I think I might need more of this actually.
What I need is Kirsten here to angle the camera. Kirsten. Okay, so where are we? Are you guys making comments that I'm just not even seeing? Thank you, Lois.
So here, this is correct, right?
Yes, I'm thinking, Lois, that is sort of that. I think that would be good. But what Lois is suggesting to sew the buttons on the inside of the hat band so that the masks drop down from that.
That would be cute.
And so I think that'd be good, but I don't like the idea of the button next to my head.
True. Could you do a slit?
So yeah, what about a buttonhole
Yeah.
that goes up, that the elastic could go through that, and then something on that order. Okay, keep thinking. Yes,
So I
ma'am.
think I do this twice, essentially.
Okay. So, yes, if you're going to do this.
I'm going to do one.
So the other thing I was going to do here was I was just going to fold it in half here
Okay.
and cut 2 layers at one time.
Okay. But I can't do it that way unless I fold it.
You
Like
need another
this.
layer anyway.
I do. But see what I'm saying? Like you have the extra to do the band this way.
Yeah, but you still need a second layer.
I do. You're right. Okay. I think I'm getting it.
Yeah. You're good. We're using the same amount. I'm wasting time arguing about it, and I'm all about saving the time. So. Okay, once you have these ironed on, you're ready to sew. So I'm going to start sewing. So let's see if I can bring this over by me to sew.
We probably only needed one sewing machine. How
As it
slow I'm
turns
going.
out.
Wow, rude. Woman.
You're all right. It's okay. But I really have no idea how we can do this. Let's see.
Gwen, she's making fun of me.
I'm sorry. She's your mom and my boss.
I was such a tough one in both categories.
Telling me to deal. I get it.
They're making fun of me now. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is put my brim together. I'm going to sew 1/4-inch seam allowances. I think that they... Are we threaded? We are threaded.
This will work. Are you not?
I lost my thread here.
Oh,
Let's do it again.
sorry. Sorry, I tried to
I think that the pattern is written, it's written by an Australian, so it's actually given in centimeters. And the centimeters that it gives for the seam allowance is actually a little bit greater than 1/4 inch, but I figured 1/4 inch would work, and it has. It's worked all along for me. Oh no! Forgot our pinking shears.
What?
We don't have pinking shears here at the store, do we, Gwen? I don't think we do either.
I can go home and get it. I can do it. It's not like I'm gonna catch up to you at this point.
Okay, why don't you do it? I'll get to that
She's
point.
like, yeah, do it.
Go do it. No, not yet. Not yet. Keep working. Keep working. Because we're already, like, we're good.
I don't know what's happening.
This is a sew-along. It's not a race.
I know. I love how you're like, this is not going to be a tutorial. It's like, sew with us. And then it's like, you're just too slow. You're too slow.
I didn't say
How
that.
dare you?
I never even once thought that. Hardly.
Hardly.
Oops. Well, there are too many
I have a
buttons
fighting
on this.
chance.
Too many buttons on this Bernina. Oh my gosh, and these little plastic tables bounce all over the place. So, okay. We're almost there.
Slowly but surely.
Okay, so now I am going to press this open. Brenda Turner, we ate the cookies!
Brenda, the cookies are so good.
And I don't know if you just got on, but we attributed this higher rate of chatter to your cookies. Your cookies that chase the affogatos, which is the rich coffee with the ice cream. And then Brenda Turner makes cakes by Brenda, so we had fabulous little decorated like fabric sugar cookies. They're really wonderful.
Delicious.
Pin dots, that was what I requested. She said, do you want balloons? I said, no, I want pin dots. Pin dot fabric. Okay. Looking for my brim. No, I got my brim. Looking for it. Okay. So here is my band.
I just remembered from The Office when Michael Scott's like, you're too slow. You're not going to Paris.
Is that a contest? Are they doing a contest?
No, he's talking about, he's acting like Meryl Streep in Devil Wears Prada.
Oh.
You're too slow.
You're not going to Paris.
You're not going to Paris. Sarah knows what I'm talking about. Okay, let's see here. Okay, I have 2 interfaces cut out. Yay!
I like this iron without a cord because I could just reach across the table and pick it up. Okay, so now I'm sewing my right sides together. I've got my 2 bands, aka crown, together, 1/4 inch. I don't normally backstitch, but I am backstitching on this because I found that in kind of wrestling the pieces together a couple of steps from now, that seam allowance wanted to open. One of the things is you can really shorten your stitch length, and then you have more stitches in the 1/4 inch, so before you totally lose your seam. But as Eleanor pointed out, that makes it a lot harder to rip out, should you need to rip it out, and also actually takes a little bit longer to stitch with a smaller stitch length because your machine only does so many stitches per minute.
So really you should go as small as you possibly can.
Oh, yeah. Smaller, fast. I think big. You need to go as big and long as you, because then it'll go really fast.
No, just you. You need to go very small and slow.
You're trying to slow me down. Is
Yeah,
that the deal?
exactly.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay, I need a scrap of fabric. Do you have any scraps?
Yes, I do. How big?
Oops. Yeah. Hey, our camera person has just arrived. Yay, Kirsten! She's dancing into the picture.
We just slowed down for a minute.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, Kirsten, come back.
I need a quick.
I have something important.
Okay.
Oh, she wants it stitched.
Oh. What? You took my machine.
Here, I got it.
Okay.
It's coming out that top.
Oh, because it
Because it's starting to pull.
didn't
now.
get back itself. Do you care if it's in white?
I don't care. Mom
Okay.
made it. What do we got?
Close your eyes. Hold your hands.
Woo!
So,
Look at
Wonder
all this
Woman,
fabulousness.
Daily Planet for Superman, and then for Superman.
These are awesome. They're for me.
They're for you. They're.
Thank you.
I did the face mask, you know.
Oh yeah,
And I
yeah.
had just a little bit left over. 'Cause I know who to give these to. Kirsten.
I got fun fabric. Okay.
Okay.
It's kind of like the grass size greener on the other side because we don't sell it, so it's like super sweet.
Yeah. It's like some of the only fabric.
Okay.
These are a lot bigger than I thought they were.
I know.
Yeah,
Right?
they're big.
Thank you.
They're comfy.
Okay, you can get back to your tutorial. Sorry for interrupting.
No, it's not a tutorial. It's we're winging
slowing
this.
her down?
It's a solo.
We're just hanging out. How many people are?
Yeah, you need to.
How many people are hanging out? We've got 23 people.
Woohoo! I
Have
had
you
no
been
idea.
reading anything?
I had no idea. Is anybody sewing?
I
You tell
just
them
saw
what to
where you could sew buttons on the cap band. Use above the ears. Could you sew the buttons into the side of the hat above the brim?
do. Yeah,
Oh, did you see that?
I did finally see that. But can you tell them about how we would like to see pictures of their hats?
If
They're
you
23, maybe one person's making a hat.
when this is over or when you are done, because we know not everyone says it at the same pace, unless there's somebody there right now
What are you trying to say?
that is an hour into this and already done. If you would post a picture in the comments, I don't know if you can do it now, considering I've never really been on the other side of this. I'm usually the one doing this. But at the end, if you could post a picture of what you made in the comments when the film's turned off or whenever it allows you to do it, that would be awesome, because then everyone can see, who's ever in here or whoever missed this, what you made, what your bucket hat looks like. Because, you know, what are the chances y'all are making the same exact bucket hat?
Highly unlikely.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Charlotte does have her mic on. Catherine,
Is it not
Catherine, check
working?
your volume.
Is it not working? I am. You can even see it. I didn't even put it under my shirt today.
So I know Catherine personally, so here's your options. Check the volume on the video. Check the volume on your device. And that's all we got. Because she is wearing her mic, which she just took off so she could sneeze for y'all. Whatever. Can't see what she's doing. Well, unfortunately, I'm not in here. I'm normally in the shop, and so this is a standstill camera today. And she'll do the best that she possibly can. She just wanted to hang out with some of her customers on her birthday.
Okay, and now I'm gonna. As long as Kirsten's here, Kirsten, let's
Okay.
do. You help me,
Okay,
please.
I'm gonna try because this
Okay.
is reverse.
I know. Well, do you want to switch it around? Can you switch it around?
We're good. We're good.
Okay.
I'm
So
afraid to.
I have applied interfacing now to my brims, and I sewed my brims at the 1/4 inch seam allowance, and I pressed them open, and that's what I'm going to call the lining. This is my green limes. My green limes, my brim, again, not interfaced, but 1/4 inch seam allowances pressed open. Did the same thing with the hat band. So the limes, it's a ever so slight curve. It's smaller than the brim. See the contrast? So sewn and pressed open, sewn and pressed open. Now, this is very handy. So now I'm going to take the two pieces, the interfaced one and the not interfaced one, and I'm going to put them together, right sides together. And I'm going to use straight pins, and this is how I pin everything. I pin it parallel to the cut edge. So I've matched my seams there. Just going to pull it around here, and I'm going to match this seam. And I'm sewing the outside curve, the larger of these two curves on these pieces of fabric. And now I am going to keeping the interface one on the top. I'm just going to stick some pins in. And this happened kind of naturally, but if you cut your interfacing ever so slightly smaller than your fabric, it's not going to make the seam allowance quite so bulky. So now I have it pinned, and I'm going to take it to the sewing machine. I'm going to sew it with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then that's where I really want to have my pinking shears. So one of us is going to run to the house. I'm not going to take, what? It's a sew-along. Like if we were doing this at the house, one of us would be having to run to the store because that's how it works for me.
That's true.
Oh my goodness. So, so we're going to do that, and then I'm going to do that and show you how we turn it. So,
How about
we're going to keep sewing.
How about I am just about done
Yes.
ironing these.
And I'm going to sew for you while you run to this house. Yes.
And then I might catch up to you.
You might.
She does only live a few blocks away.
I do.
Yeah.
'Kay.
Give me a fighting chance.
If
All
Lily
right.
takes a while, she did something else.
More coffee.
Okay, I'm going back. I'm leaving you with Charlotte.
Okay, are you taking my house? You have to take my keys
I have to
altogether.
take your keys.
Okay. All right.
Otherwise, I'd have to walk and it would take forever.
Okay. No, don't walk. All right. I want to keep sewing. And Lily is running to the house to get the pinking shears. So if you don't have pinking shears, see, and now here is, this is what I don't understand. So now it did not fuse. Wah. So my love-hate relationship. We're going to sew it into the seam so it'll be okay, but I'm going to go back up here and try to fuse a little bit more. So, but I was saying something else there. Oh, the pinking shears. Yeah. So if you don't have pinking shears, it is fine, because we're only sewing with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So there's not a lot to force into that area when you turn the curve right side out. That's the idea. To trim down the bulk. So you could cut little notches, and actually I watched a tutorial that wasn't too bad on this bucket hat. Like, listen to me. Okay, I'm doing this like great tutorial where I'm not even on the screen, you can't see me, and I'm having the nerve to criticize somebody else who did a tutorial. This is ridiculous. But anyway, so she did cut lots of little notches out, and I thought, good golly, lady, certainly you sew enough that you own some pinking shears. But she didn't. So anyway, we are almost fused over here. I'm about to come back on the screen. Sort of almost. I just don't understand the Decker Bond. It's like, seems like it should just be a temperature thing. Temperature and moisture. I can't say I've had better luck one way or the other, which is why I didn't even mention steam, because for me that isn't always the answer. For somebody else that might be, but it just really and truly seems like it maybe depends on the fabric, depends on the, I don't know. Anyway, okay, so I'm back. Again, this is the interface Lily chose. She's using quilting weight cottons on both lining and outside of the hat. I'm using a woven and a quilting cotton print. Okay, did a little back stitching there again. And okay, still not sticking down to the interfacing. And why I like this interfacing okay, because even when it isn't fused, when I catch it in the seam allowance, and so it's inside my hat, it is not, it still gives some body. It's not limp, it's still kind of crisp. So I like the way the interfacing does its main job, which is just to give some body to the product, but I really don't like the way the science of the fusible isn't consistent. Okay. And now, cool thing about this iron, cordless iron, is I can just turn around. And grab the iron. You don't have to worry about how far the cord is going to come.
Just visiting. We're slow again. We got the store all cleaned up, and we have two hours before we close. So if you're local and you're gonna come down, come on down.
Come on down. We're open till 5. Did somebody go to the post office?
No.
Okay.
We have an hour and a half.
Okay. An hour and really 10 minutes before you should leave. Somebody should go.
Well,
So if I'm done with my hat, we go to the post office every day about 4:20, and I like people who just kind of go with the flow. So first, I think that the post office people get kind of annoyed at me because I was always the last person. I would always make them late. But now they figured out that I am also very willing to take the key and lock the door behind me, so then I can finish my business in there with them, and they know they're locked up and aren't taking more customers. So I like the way they figured out how to make lemonade out of lemons. Me being the biggest lemon of them all. Oh, goodness.
have any conversations or questions?
I
haven't.
Well, hey, my sister says my dad is on. Yay. Hi, Dad. Thanks. The flowers are beautiful. The flowers
think
are
she was-
gorgeous. Can you see them here? Here are the flowers.
So
Thank you, Dad.
technically, she said that a while ago, I think. Oh yeah, because then she said I showed up.
Yay.
Oh yeah, we've got
And
more
not
flowers.
to be neglected, because I don't remember who they were from, but you probably remember.
Did my husband send those yesterday and I forgot?
I think.
You took the card. We can't.
Yeah,
I
we don't-
did. I
yeah.
started to carry. Okay, yes, my husband sent me beautiful flowers too. Thank you, Randy.
Gorgeous.
Lily sent you? No, Eleanor. Eleanor sent you the one you
Eleanor
took home.
sent me a cool succulent and a hanging glass globe. The glass globe is the hanging. The succulent just sits there in the globe.
As opposed to running out.
Yeah, as opposed to running around or hanging out. Okay. So, I am putting Lily's together. Hers is ever so slightly, they're both interfaced, and ever so slightly different. I can feel just a little bit more, can you see that? There, I don't know if you can see that, but there's just a little bit more in this side than there is in this. So I'm going to sew with that on the bottom because my feed dogs are going to make that all ease in just super fine. So I am sewing her brim together, double interfaced. I'm sewing with a 1/4" seam allowance. And so nobody has asked because they're all so polite. At least I haven't seen anybody ask. But I am turning. My birthday today is. Drum roll, please. I've just turned 65. So those of you who have turned 65 before me know that there's all this weird medical stuff you gotta do. You gotta get this card and I don't know. Anyway, so that's about the only thing painful so far. Other than this, they are treating me pretty good, still being 65. Could have a whole conversation on why Bernina's bounce. It's like this plastic table in this Bernina. It's kind of like a wave action. It gets to bouncing and all of a sudden it's, whoa, really bouncing. At home I have it on a very heavy wooden table. And I definitely do not have a bounce. Okay, so there is Lily's brim sewn. And now I'm going to go fuse her hat band. So I'm fusing it, a little pressure. Lot of heat, a little moisture. Like I said, I haven't really found that steam works. That one went really well, the one that was still damp from my quick pre-shrink. This one is damp too, so okay, we're good. So 1/4", little back stitch at the end, at the beginning, a little back stitch at the end, and bing. There she is! Yay!
And you're still sewing?
I'm still sewing. Yay! And you have the pinking shears. Yay!
I do.
Okay. So I'm going to let you finish sewing these 2/4". I'm back stitching at the beginning and the end.
Okay.
And I will demo on this. Whoops, and we will take you over here. Okay, so you go there and I'll go over here. Okay, so here I am, back to the old Bernina. And so now this is sewn, and this one has interfacing on both sides. So this one is a little bit more important to make sure that you are reducing the bulk on this outside curve of the hat brim so that it's lays a little bit more smooth. So if you have pinking shears, you just want to run along and trim. Printing labels over there. Okay, so we're trimming that with the pinking shears. If you don't have a pinking shears, and can I borrow your little scissors? I don't think it's really going to work what I want to do, but I don't see see another small scissors. So if you don't have a pinking shears, take a small scissors. This is unfortunately the one, this is an old pair and it is not very sharp anymore. But, no, Gwen's going, no, these are not sharp. But the idea is that you would cut this little V, little notched V, and this little notched V would look like that. Can I hold that up here?
Oh my.
So I just cut, whoa, where is it? Reverse, there it is. I cut that notch with the scissors. And I don't think you'd have to cut a whole lot of those. So if you have a pinking shears, it's gonna cut all those little notches for you. I tried using my rotary blade that's a pinking blade. I don't know whether mine had been used too much, it was not brand new, or whether I was cutting through too many layers. Anyway, I really suspect that it was partly because it was a curve, and so in turning the curve, the pinking blade was not making good contact with the cutting board. Whatever it was, it didn't do a really good job, and I was kind of disappointed. I have used that blade for a lot of different things, but it wasn't really great for this. So once I have that, all the outside curve all trimmed, I'm going to turn this right side out. So this is the lining and the outside of the hat. We'll call this Carla's hat because it's for Carla, right? It wasn't a surprise. I just blew it if she's on. Hi, Carla, are you there? Hi, Joanne. Talking 65 talk now. I think what I don't like about it is I just don't like one more layer of stuff that I think I could mess up when it comes to Medicare. Do I have the right card? Do I have the right coverage? What do I have? Anyway, I'm
Ryan,
sure.
call me.
Yeah, Ryan, Lily's fiance is like, call me. That's what he is. He's an expert on that very thing. And I have taken his advice, so I should not be nervous, but.
But.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with Ryan.
No,
I didn't
no,
mean
no.
that.
No,
It's
I'm
like,
kidding.
just like, yeah.
It's such a complex thing.
It's a
hard to
complex,
wrap
it is.
your mind around, let alone make a decision.
Yeah, it's medical stuff. Oh my gosh. Knock wood. I am 65 and healthy.
That's right.
Knock wood.
So am I sewing the...
No, don't sew that together yet. No, don't sew any of that. Okay, so now, here, Lily, come see what you're supposed to be doing. So, so I am pinching. I am turning this and pinching this
Okay.
together. So my fingers are warm and stiff, and I am making that match really nice. So you see how I'm doing that? Just real even.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you have that all done, you're going to edge stitch with whatever color thread. I would just go ahead and use the light colored thread you have on there. So now I'm going to sew mine,
Yay, thank you.
and she's sort of passed me up now. She managed to
That's
go
just-
get the pinking shears and get further ahead than I was.
That's not...
That's the miracle of sew along. I'm gonna take this out so you don't accidentally sew it together. Don't accidentally sew it together.
I was trying to catch up. No.
Okay. So
Thank you for
I
sewing
need
this
my-
up.
You're welcome. Okay.
It's hot out. Person said it was 105.
Yikes! It's 105 in Kansas.
I tried to get the cats in. That's why it took me so long.
No.
And they won't come in. Shocker.
Yeah, shocker. Somehow, I wonder if this machine is going to bounce so much as the other one.
It's like a bouncy house over here.
Okay, so I'm back to sewing around the brim again. Oh, this one doesn't does not bounce. This is the old machine. I love this machine. It's a Bernina 1130. It was my first Bernina. I still love it. I guess. Honestly, gosh, this doesn't bounce at all. Why does that one bounce? That's crazy.
What's the weight difference?
Gwen, does your Bernina bounce? She's shaking her head no. You want to sew?
No. I'm just trying to think through why.
Did you need your scissors back?
Not yet.
Okay, okay.
Done.
Yay. Okay, so I'm back to trimming with the pinking shears.
I feel like this is like from what was that?
Yeah.
What was that century where they all had the huge collars on?
14. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Come
I'm
on,
talking about
Mr.
Puritans?
Beth.
Puritans?
No, before that even. We're talking. Is it Queen Elizabeth?
Well, that's
I guess that was close to the
1500s,
time.
15th, 16th century? Which Elizabeth, I guess.
Well,
The one
the
with the big collar.
I know. And I took plenty of costume history and I read historical novels all the time.
I
You would think I
know.
would know.
wasn't she the one that was
So you're
going
talking
up
about-
against Mary of Scott?
Yeah,
Scott-
that's it. Uh-huh.
Scotland.
That's the very one I'm reading right
Yeah.
now. And they wore ruffs, they were pleated.
Yeah, they were.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but that's what it reminds me of. That or like a dog comb.
Okay,
No.
we gotta see that.
You don't need to see that.
Hello, she had this on. She's wearing it on her head like a dog cone.
Who gave this dog a microphone?
Alrighty, so now I'm going to mine that I'm putting together now. Okay, so now mine has no interfacing on the one side. Let's see, which side? This side. This side has no interfacing, this side is interfacing. But I can still do the same thing. I'm turning it right side out, and I'm going to use my fingers to, instead of an iron, to pinch it. And then I will finish it with an iron. And you've edge stitched yours?
Yeah.
So now, Lily, do you want to, you find a hat where I'd stitched many times? I think one of the hats I stitched rows of stitching through the brim. So I stitched about an inch apart.
So horizontally, like
Yeah, I
rounded
wonder if it's
rings?
the one that is the bright, that has the bright floral, tropical florals and the iguana.
All of them but that one.
Yeah, I know.
Are you going to look? Are you going to look for that, Gwen?
I'm going to go look.
Thank you. Because you need to decide if you want to stitch through the brim. It adds a little more decoration, a little more
I think I will.
substance. And yeah, I think because this is for Carla, I think she would like that. I think if you were making it for a teenager or like a 20-something, I wouldn't do it because
Right.
I think they want it more slouchy. I think they want it more homemade. Not that that's a bad thing, but I think they want it
Right.
less manufactured looking and more like it really was handmade. So, I
Now
think
the question is, how far apart do I space these?
I did it. See that arrow on my bed? Okay,
Yeah.
so I gotta take this over so you can see. So that actually is left on there from when I was stitching. So,
That is very far out.
so I did I think I did the outside
Like right
there. I
there?
think I did
Mhm.
maybe that.
Okay.
And then did I do,
The second one.
so I measure between those two and see if there's a halfway, where the halfway mark is between, if you measure, let's see, so if you were putting that, so if you measure
Ah.
that distance and then find out where that is, let's
'Kay.
see, can you let go of it
Yep.
1 second and slide it in? Yeah, so then it was just, it's the outside of that plate.
Yeah.
So I think that's all I did, and then maybe
That's
I
fine.
stitched halfway between them.
Oh, you did
I
that many
might have.
rings.
I made an eyeball. Well, she's about to bring the hat. If you want to look, wait 1 second.
Okay.
Take a look at it, then you could judge it.
I like
Whoa.
the idea. I mean, I'm cool with doing it. There she is. Ba-ding-ding,
I think it's this one. And you did some funky stuff on it. Not funky in a bad way, just.
Oh yeah, just
Yeah.
the extra applique almost. Thank you.
Yeah. This is very fun.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. I think Carla would like that. Thank you, dear.
You're welcome.
Okay, so let's see how we can do this. The sky is falling.
What?
I'm just cracking myself up. Because it's shaking so bad, I'm like, the sky is falling.
Yeah, it shakes a lot. It's like, I think it's a wave action going. It's like, whoa.
This isn't even full speed.
It's crazy.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Okay, so this hat you're looking at here, Lily, this is what I did on this one. So I did some patchwork. So the blue ones, this one, this fabric comes patchworked. That comes all stitched. But then this one, I actually did some patchworking of my own. And then I took, so I've got some selvage on there, Geopop, did some patchwork, and then this print is real bold, as you can see because I'm real close up. But I took some smaller pieces and just top stitched raw edge on them, on the hat. So it's just kind of made it a little less funky. So now I'm going to edge stitch, let's see if you can see this.
Woo! Okay.
Sorry. Sorry. So when I have interfacing on only one piece of the fabric, I like to keep the interfaced piece on the top. Okay, now this one's bouncing.
Yeah. I feel like I'm doing
It's like you're gonna get motion sick watching this video because the machine is bouncing so much. Less bouncy when you floor it.
like when you go over real fast.
Yeah. Floor it.
Almost done. Okay. officially out of bobbin right at the end.
Yay! Good deal.
Ah.
Okay, we need to wind that bobbin, and then what you want to do is we're going to baste these layers together on that inner circle. So I'm going to pin it before I do the basting. To baste it, I'm going to stitch it just a little bit smaller than my 1/4 inch foot width, so that the basting is within the stitching, the future stitching line, but not too far out, because again, this is a curved piece that we're going to want to sort of pay attention to. I don't know, when you have a small curve in there, it changes the shape when it's being worn. We'd have to make lots of clips, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to lengthen my stitch length a little bit, like on a Bernina, I'm doing it, normally I'm stitching on a 2, goes all the way up to 5, and I'm going to go to just about a 3, a little above a 3. And I'm stitching about between, it's greater than an 1/8, but it's not a 1/4. From the lot.
So you said between a 1/4 and an 1/8?
Yes, less than a 1/4. And not as small as an 1/8. Okay, so that is all basted together. That is going to be ready to attach to the top of the hat when I get that done. So now I am going to work with, again, my hat bands and my tops. So the way I do this, you could use a friction pen or a ballpoint pen if you are you sure you keep it within the in the seam allowance, so it's not going to show on the finished hat. But I actually fold my circle in half, and I'm going to make little tiny clips with scissors to mark my half mark. I'm going to turn it again, and I'm going to mark the half mark. So now I have the 4/4 marked, and then I'm going to make marks halfway between those. So I'm going to do that real quick.
I totally missed what you just said.
Okay, let me see. I'm going to go see if I can grab Kirsten. Yeah. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to grab Kirsten. She's busy with the customer. So let me see if I can. The light's really pretty terrible right here. Lily, you want to come hold the camera? Let's see if you can hold the camera while I do this. And then you'll pay attention when I'm doing too. Okay, so where are we? We're right here. So can you, I don't know, maybe we should turn around. You could be looking at it.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yes.
Okay, so we turn it around. Okay, so now, see if that works. Can you see that now?
Ooh, it's backwards. Got it.
Yeah, it is backwards. It's weird.
That's very bizarre. Okay.
It is bizarre. Okay, so I'm pretty good at visualizing my 1/4 inch, so I'm doing that within a 1/4 inch. Oh my gosh, these are those horrible scissors. So I made a little snip there. It gives me a little V. So I'm going to mark on the other side. Match those up. really and truly, you should have a decent pair of scissors. We'll try this. Now, to get halfway between that, I just fold my marks, wherever my marks are. There
Can
are
I
my
get a close
marks.
up on that?
Yeah, So here's my mark. These should be matching too, right there. So now I'm going to, I don't like doing that. And I think I have it all but here. Okay, so now I have to do the same thing on the hat. So this is the lower part because we're coming in. This is the wider part. That's going to attach to the brim, and this is the top of the hat. So we're going to attach the top. So I'm going to now do the same thing I did to the circle, finding the quarters. I'm going to find the quarters on my band. Again, just make little snips. Find the halfway between that and that.
So you're carrying 8 snips total?
Yes. Okay, so in this case I can see the straight grain because it's a woven plaid, so that worked out really well. This is also, it's almost the same on both sides, not enough for me to, it's a bucket hat, I don't care. So I'm going to put the straight grain from side seam to side seam. Now, this is what I want to do. I want to put everything on this plate. So when I am sewing, I have put this band on this plate, and I'm going to be sewing with this flat circle against my sewing machine. So everything goes on the plate. You don't put the plate on top of your banana, you put your you don't put your pie on under your plate, you put your pie on top of your plate. Your plate goes down first. So there it is. I don't know.
She's going bananas.
I'm going bananas. Okay, so I put that. Now I match this little notch to that little notch. Spin this around. I got this little notch to this little notch. Got this little notch to this little notch. And now I'm going to, I've got pins in it, should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 places. So now I'm going to sew. Do you want to watch me sew, Lily? And then we'll set it back up so we can just do a sew along. Oops. My, well, my stitching length was too long. I was on that basting mode, so I stitch my 1/4 of an inch, and it's pretty easy to do. Just keep it smooth. Keep working the edge to match. pull in a little bit tighter. It's okay, I'm just gonna ease it out here. And you can see, like, this plaid is super nice to work with. It just is very forgiving. My edges are matched there. Yet it's not stretching because the pattern is good. It's cut the right size. It's a gentle said that 1 second too soon, so now I am having to just kind of ease that in there. There we are. Okay, hand me those scissors. Thank you. So now it's hopefully all your seam allowances are on the inside. We're gonna turn this around. And that is all real nice. So if you saw puckers here, like somewhere that had pinched and puckered, but it really, there's one little one right there. So I might
This
take
is
that
like
out.
hard for me to.
Yeah,
to
it's
there,
hard to
sorry.
even see there. It's like one tiny little pucker. So I might take that out and ease that in just a little bit. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to edge stitch right next to this seam into the brim of the hat, holding the seam allowances down, not the brim, I'm sorry, the band. So this is the top of the hat on the band, and I'm going to push the seam allowances towards the band and edge stitch that seam. So that means edge stitching is like about 1/16 of an inch from your actual edge of your fabric seam.
Do you
Okay?
iron it all?
I find that I can do as much with my fingers, and it's harder to get the iron in there. So I'm just going to go in and bring it in here, and I will start here. I'm going to come back and fix that little pleat. I think. Maybe I'm not. It might be enough. So I am just going to, I am just pulling, so you can see my seam allowance is going flat towards the band. I'm just pulling it flat.
Okay. And you know, I'm thinking that pleat is never gonna show, and so I just stitched right over it. Okay, so now while I have this, I'm just going to double check it. It looks good. So now you could stop. This could be a beanie, but I'm going to add the brim to it. Okay, You should put it on to see how it works.
put it on. It's my ponytail.
It is in your ponytail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Sylvia.
She doesn't want me to show her.
All right.
Okay.
So we've got another one to do exactly like that. In my case, I'm going to do the limes. Lily has two, there's the pink floral and the red to do. And you're still stitching your broom. So that's good. We're good. Okay, so we're going to turn this around again. And,
So
okay.
what do we need to do with band?
Okay, the band, we're doing, that's why I just did those separately. So
Okay.
that was the band attaching to the top, to the circle.
Okay.
So here are your circles. There you go.
Okay.
There are your circles.
And that's your inside, is that right?
You have to do the same thing to both.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. So basically you mark both edges of each piece. The small edge on the band, you mark it into 8s, and you mark the circle into 8s.
I think I need scissors. Thank you.
So we're going to do the same thing here now, where I'm going to mark the 8s.
So now you're doing the same thing, but on the exterior fabric.
Right. I'm doing the same thing, but on the whatever. It's totally reversible hat. It's a totally reversible hat. Did I say that before? I don't think I did, but it is. That's why I have hesitancy calling it lining, because what's on the inside is going to be the brim, if the way I wear it, which is turned up. The brim turned up.
Gwen, have you made a bucket hat?
I have not.
What? You should be making you one. Take her the same time to make two as it does.
Just checking in, you know.
We just needed. I know, it's like been 2 hours, not quite 2
I
hours.
need another cookie.
We're
since
moving
it's
right
been
on.
2 hours. Look at these gorgeous cookies.
Yeah, look at them. Brenda, thank you. I don't know if Brenda's still on. She was on earlier.
We're eating your cookies.
And then show the ones decorated like pin dots. I love them.
Oh, good one.
Should we take the camera over there? Show the whole box.
Taking a break from Charlotte for a minute.
That's fine.
Here are the cookies.
I might need one. I'm starting to crash.
I'm just watching. I don't want to miss the post office. So after Mary did all that work to get all those packages ready. A lot. Okay, so now I'm matching again. I've marked, I'm taking the straight grain that I can see on my hat, and I'm attaching those to my seam allowances. So, not that it makes any difference at all. It's a bucket hat. It's the most casual hat in the world, almost. I guess a kerchief is more casual, but as far as a hat goes, bucket hat's pretty casual. Baseball hat has so much more structure to it. A ball cap or a has that stiff bill and the adjustable thing in the back. You could never make anybody a baseball hat. Well, I guess I have. Never mind. Not as easy as this.
Who'd you make a baseball cap for?
I think for a theater show a long time ago. It had to be, sort of, it was like for like a newsboy who ran in and off. You would think that we could have used a regular hat, but some directors, you know, they just got their ideas.
Should tell them about Aunt Eleanor's masks.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Eleanor, are you still on? I don't think so. She's probably not on. Are you on, Eleanor?
Give her a minute. They were yum, Joanne. It's in my tummy now. Oh, Lois is here doing some hand sewing while you're sewing. Did you talk about Medicare?
Yes.
Okay. There's a lot of conversation about that. But you're keeping an average of 20 people on here while you sew and chat.
All right. I'm sorry. As you can tell when I come squinting towards the camera, it's like I cannot read very well with these glasses and this size screen, and so if I was gonna do this regularly, I'd set it up on a big screen TV thing in my sewing room, which Lily has provided me with a big iMac. Isn't that what I have?
Yep.
A big iMac in my sewing room.
You have a Big Mac.
What?
You have a Big Mac.
I have a Big Mac. What do I know? I'm not a Mac girl. I'm a Windows kind of girl, but she has given me one she doesn't have room for anymore. And I think it has a camera in it because it has a piece of tape over the camera.
Yeah.
So that
That's a thing.
it's a thing, okay. So anyway, but if I had that, I could read your comments from my sewing machine. And so maybe someday I'll get my sewing room set back up to do a sew along from my sewing room. And then all my tools would be there. All my I have great fine point, sharp tip, good condition scissors in my sewing room. I have pinking shears in their place. I know how Lily didn't even ask where they were going to be. She knew they would be right in their place.
That's true.
She didn't even have to ask me. So I really do have some organization sometimes. Important things. I believe tools should be kept in their place and you put them back when you're done using them. I get pretty ticked when people
Yeah, you
don't.
do.
I do get ticked.
It's like a big
Get ticked about a lot of things. I get ticked about that.
Happy thoughts. Happy thoughts.
Yeah, I don't stay ticked. I can't remember long enough. Okay, so I got another little beanie made. So this little beanie and this little beanie. So
Did
this
you top stitch it already?
not yet,
Okay, good.
but so it's gonna go inside there, so it's good. So next I'm gonna top stitch it. Alrighty.
So I'm top stitching onto the band, right?
Yes, the seam allowances go towards the band, and the stitching is on the band.
I'm on it.
So Kirsten, you want to run into the post office? You want to run the stuff to the post office? Is there a lot of stuff? Yeah, do you have to come back? Yeah, what I was thinking is, like I said to you now, that you might be able here to help us wrap this up. 'Cause thank you. Go work off that sugar cookie.
one done.
Yay. Okay, so now, is that going to be the inside or the outside?
Yes, it's the inside.
It's the inside? Okay, when you do the outside, cute. When you do the outside, now the final step of the hat is that this lower edge of this little caplet gets turned up and then top stitched to the hat. That's what finishes the hat. So at this step, I'm going to run a I'm going to run a basting stitch around. There's Lily in her caplet. I'm going to run a basting stitch around this because I'm handling this right now and I want to forget to do it. So when I get there, I'll be all ready. So again, I'm going to run this stitch length just a little bit longer than normal. And I'm going to do that just shy of 1/4 of an inch, a very scant 1/4 inch. So obviously this sew-along is, the hat is taking a little bit longer than I would normally take to make this hat. The first one probably took me this long or a little bit longer, but each one has gotten much quicker because I know exactly what I'm doing. And with that said, when you know exactly what you're doing, you can just keep moving. And I can do these hats now in less than an hour and a half. I'm thinking the last one was more like an hour and 15 minutes. So they're kind of fun to make. So I have gotten that stitched, and now I'm going to go to the iron and I'm going to turn it up with the iron. Oh, I think my iron turned off. Oops, sorry. Auto off iron, not hot. Okay.
Let's see here. How am I doing this?
I really kind of like these. It's pretty forgiving, this top stitching. This kind of covers everything up. It's casual. I can't remember who I was talking to. They said that they like to just keep it in their pocket, and I realized that theirs must not have much interfacing in it. Like maybe one brim is interfaced. They just keep it in their jacket pocket, and then if they find themselves in the sun, they just pull it out.
Uncle Mike wears bucket hats.
Uncle Mike does?
Yeah. I feel like he would like this.
Okay, so this is pressed up now. See how that's done? So that's my little cap, and the seam allowance is stitched for a marking on where to press it up. So I've pressed that. This is the lining. Now here is my brim, and my brim has been turned and edge stitched. This mirror image, sorry, I keep forgetting which side I'm moving to. So it's edge stitched. Whoop, it's edge stitched. And it's been essentially stay stitched at this edge. I don't know if you can see it. There, it's Stay Stitched. That shows it pretty well. Stay stitched and edge stitched. Now, this is the lining. I want to sew this. I'm going to talk about it as if it's lining now. So this is going to go on the inside next to the lining of the brim. So here's the finished lining of the brim. There's that seam. Here's the seam in my little cap. And I have that matched up. But now remember, I want this plate, I want this flat one to be the plate. So it is going to go on my sewing machine like a plate because it's flat. Of course it's not flat, as you can see, it's banding up, but that's how you have to think about it. It's the flat plate. Now I'm going to match this and put the pins on the side of the hat that's the caplet. And I don't know if you can watch that. Let's see if I raise this up a little bit. Will you get a better angle at it? Now. Okay. And this is another place where you really need to have marked your eights.
Regretting doing the stabilizer.
Yeah, the second layer of interfacing.
No, just the first on the band.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Makes it a little more. Okay, so Lily's saying, if you can't hear her, she's not mic'd. She's saying that she's regretting having the interfacing on the band just because it's making it a little bit harder to stitch to the cap. Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Stitching it to the cap.
To the top?
Yeah, to the band and the band and the
top.
circle at the top. Maybe I should come over and see if you're doing that right.
What?
Are you doing it right? Have you got it on the flat? Let me come look. Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep, you are. Oh, you need help, Sylvia?
Yeah, with the gift card.
Oh, okay.
Crossing my fingers.
You know, I forgot to mention here that actually we are looking for one more person to join our team here at the store. We have an opportunity for somebody, and I put the job description on the website. There's a link from the front page of the website, so it's sonatural.net. I think Kirsten's going to post it on Facebook tomorrow, maybe, or maybe later today. And anyway, we're looking forward to having somebody else who likes to do this crazy stuff. And so all right, so I got my hat, I got my cap pinned to my to my to my brim, and it's pinned and it's going to go in flat, and I'm going to ease it around here. So I'll just keep sewing.
Question for the exterior. So because this has interfacing in it, it's really trying to, you can see the selvage is trying to stick up towards the top. So do you top stitch, you still have to push it down. Okay. Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, now you got it. Yeah, once you get started going flat like that, it's a lot easier.
Okay.
And you're really stitching right next to the seam, so yeah, it's hardly anything. Okay. So there is my hat attached to my brim. And here is my lime or lemons, and then here's the raw inside of my hat. And I have actually seen people stop right here. To me, that's an unfinished hat, but you could stop right here. And then you could just edge stitch this up, and then you would have some raw edges here, and that could be just the way you're done. But I'm going to finish this, and so we edge stitched the seam allowances on the band from the round top of the hat, and we're essentially going to do the same thing on this seam, except we're not going to do it until we add this second piece. So this, if you want to think about it, that's why all the seam allowances are going towards the band, because now we're going to edge stitch. If you think that this will lay better if you edge stitch this one first, go ahead and do it. It just means that you would have 2 rows of stitching here, and they probably wouldn't be one on top of the other. The other thing is, I think I'm going to go over and I'm going to try ironing that a little bit, because I think that that will help it. So let me take this over and iron it.
two together?
Nope, not yet.
'Kay.
So now you're gonna sew the brim. You're gonna do what I just did here. So you're gonna sew the brim to, and actually I would sew it to that one, I think, with the interfacing on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I would do. Yeah, sew it to that one. Let's see what happens.
To this one?
Yeah.
So this one.
So sew around the bottom of that one a scant 1/4 of an inch, like with a little bit longer stitch, because that's what you're going to press under.
Okay.
Except that yours is going to have interfacing on it,
Yes.
and I think that's going to be a little bit easier in the long run. I think.
We hope.
So you have to struggle. Life is hard. All right, so now while Lily does that, I'm going to match my seam allowance. So now I press this. Kirsten's back. So see, I pressed this edge. This was really easy to do because it was flat on the ironing board, and I just eased it up with the iron. Now I'm going to match this, match the seams, and then I'm going to edge stitch that, and my hat will be done. 2.5 hours with an audience.
Deb had to go find a cookie. Sorry.
Oh man. Okay, so do you see what I'm doing here? Maybe Kirsten's
Sorry,
back.
yep,
Maybe
I'll-
Kirsten can do this. So I'm trying to pin this. So my goal is to get this edge, fold that ironed under edge right next to the stitching on top of it, and then I'm going to come along and I'm going to edge stitch through all these layers. So that'll create the edge stitching on that side too at the same time. And sometimes I have gone through and marked all this in my 1/8, my quarters and my 1/8, but this feels like it's fitting pretty well. I don't think there's going to be much guesswork. I think it's just fitting. So I don't think I need the marks. If you end up with more hat than brim, you might have to go back and adjust and mark it. But this is all laying in pretty good. Pretty good. It's just fine most of the time. That sounded dumb. I'm tired. I need a cookie. Actually, I need some blueberry coffee cake. That's what I'm going to eat as soon as I'm done with this. So did anybody else say on here that they're actually making a hat while I'm making a hat?
Apparently I'm right in the... Let me keep putting my finger over the camera, shall we?
Okay, Kirsten, you want to pick up the thing and see if you can get a better shot of this, because this is just one little tricky piece. Okay, so now I have it all pinned. And I'm going to slide it in here under. Well, you want to come see this, what I'm doing? So I've got it pinned. You can see everything's matching up, and that's matching up, and so now I'm just going to edge stitch right in here. And again, this is like my plate. Everything's on top of my plate. One little teeny tiny pucker wanting to happen. I'm going to ease that out. Getting close to the finish. Comes my sew off. And let's see here, I'm gonna have really close to just one tiny little easing issue. There it is. Gonna ease that all right in. There it is. Yay! I'm gonna do a little back stitching and sew to the sew off and trim those threads close.
And I'll go see if I can find it while you grab.
Okay. Ta-da! My hat is done. All right. Hello. Just sewed a bucket hat.
Good for you.
And it fits over my ponytail, so I'm ready for the beach. I can go.
It's cute.
Anyway, very fun. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Lily and I are going to finish her hat now.
Yep, I'm still.
And low battery, so we just came in close to the end. We've been on for just about 2 hours and 15 minutes. And I hope that you have some pictures of some hats to share with me. I hope that Kirsten gave you the right tips on how to do that. If not,
Good luck.
Email them to me, because we would love to see them. We'll figure out how to get them, share them. But if you put them on Facebook, I think we can share them. We can grab them onto this. So anyway, very good. Well, thank you. Have a great weekend. Thanks for sharing my birthday with me. This was a fun way to turn 65 with a bunch of friends that are online and letting me do all the talking. So anyway, thanks again and have a great weekend. Bye.